as you know, we are celebrating 25 years of partnering horses and humans. And today I am hanging out in the pasture with a few of my equine service partner co-workers who are enjoying the sunshine and taking a morning nap. So beside me you see Posa and JJ, and we're all just gonna hang out together as we reflect on our 25 years and talk a little bit about where we've been in 25 years and what our journey has looked like. So Wings of Hope began in 1996. We were co-founded by Margaret Dickens and Patty Pace, who are still very much involved in our mission today, which can be unusual to still have co-founders involved decades later. And they had a vision to provide inclusion for children and adults in a place and a space that provided the partnership of a horse. And basically what that looks like is just a place with no boundaries, a place with no judgment, a place that didn't necessarily fit in a box. Those two women had worked together at a residential treatment facility, working with at-risk individuals who were wards of the state, and they saw the power and partnership of a horse for that population. And when that facility closed and they needed to transition into something different, they wanted to continue that magic, if you will, that horses have to offer. They just really felt so strongly in the hope and healing and discovery that horses can offer that they founded Wings of Hope and began our journey. When Margaret and Patty started Wings of Hope so many years ago, they again had worked together at a residential treatment facility. It is our understanding that so many of the youth that were turning into adults that lived there had nowhere else to go. They were wards of the state. They were not eligible necessarily to be in a traditional foster care home, or didn't necessarily meet the box of the system at that time. So with the individuals that they served that didn't necessarily fit that mold at the time, Patty and Margaret felt strongly that they wanted to perhaps get ahead of that curve. Maybe they could serve battered women to prevent them from being in a situation of having their children taken away. They wanted to perhaps serve families in a way to preserve family life so that parents could be parents and do it in a healthy way with a healthy role model. So initially the vision was thought that they would work with a population that would help kind of alter the route of the population that they had served at their previous facility, Odyssey Harbor. When Wings of Hope opened, and in true Wings of Hope fashion, we kind of opened our doors and just said to the community, what are the needs? And the needs at that time was not necessarily that population. They found that the population that was seeking the partnership of a horse and seeking that kind of outside of the box therapy and a resource was people with disabilities. So rather than having a battered woman or maybe being connected with a shelter, the knock on our door of the community was the community of people with disabilities and challenges. And therefore, Wings of Hope, kind of in our true fashion, just adapted to what was the need of the community and went from there. So rather than serving what they thought was going to be one part of our population, ended up serving a whole different area of our population and what that need was. So one of the ways that Wings of Hope has stayed the same over 2.5 decades through 25 years of service is always remembering the center of our mission, which is to help people, whatever it is that the people who come through our doors need. That is something that has stayed very true to Wings of Hope, and being a very steady constant in our community to adapt to whatever the needs of the community is. So as we know, very much so in our present life in 2020, 2021, we are all, adapting and modifying, and Wings of Hope has been very good at that throughout 25 years. And I think that that is something that is fairly unique for a nonprofit. A lot of times it can be challenging to kind of meet the ever-changing needs of a community while still staying true to your roots and what your initial goal and vision is. And so I think that that's something that Wings of Hope has been very steady and consistent with in our 25 years. Even though in that 25 years we've certainly had a revolving door of volunteers, we've had a revolving door of different horses that have served, certainly the number of clients and equestrians that have come through as well. So in our 25 years, again, going back to adapting to what the needs of our community is, we have seen lots of change in that 25 years. We have had volunteers that have come and gone. We're fairly unique that we have some staff members that have been here for a long duration of that time. But even within that 25 years, if we were to have one of our maybe perhaps initial staff members come back, or even, having conversations with Patty and Margaret who have been here since day one, I think if we were to ask them, does Wings of Hope look the same today in 2021 as it did in 1996, we would be remiss to say that yes, it looks exactly the same. One of the ways that has changed, and that it can be kind of a noticeable change, is the needs of the population that we serve. So many times people ask us, who do we serve? And we always say we serve children and adults with any type of disability or challenge. But oftentimes many people think that it's just children, that it's just little kids, perhaps coming in a wheelchair, that are coming here and learning how to ride. And during our 2.5 decades, some of the time that was true, that we had upwards of 60 or 70% perhaps of children being served under the age of 18. But we have also seen ebbs and flows to where we have more adults. With that being said, depending on the age or the needs of the clientele that's coming in, that also can change the needs of our herd. So often when we are serving more adults and that pendulum swings, and perhaps it's 50 or 60% of adults that are serving, then that means we're going to need perhaps less ponies in the herd. It means that we need some larger or bigger horses. It can also depend on kind of the trend of what is going on in the world, or what's even going on in the horse world. We have found ourselves in seasons to where we had equestrians who their goals and their focus perhaps was more learning how to perfect their ride in a show ring, in which case we might need horses that have more of that previous or prior experience. So we've definitely seen a lot of change within the 25 years according to the horses and humans that are coming through our doors. So as we all celebrate 25 years together, one thing that has certainly stayed true with Wings of Hope is that we are here by the grace of God and the generosity of our community. So we thank you for being a friend and a partner in our mission, whether that means you write us a check for $25 a month, or you go out and you find us a sponsorship for Roundup for Riders for $10,000, or you don't buy your cup of Starbucks and you send us a Venmo for $5. Whatever it means to you to support us, we are so appreciative for that. We're also so thankful for the countless thousands of hours that have been donated through volunteers throughout our 25 years. So whether you have been a part of our 25 years or you're going to be a part of the next 25 years, we thank you so much, and we invite you all to be a partner in our mission and being an advocate for inclusion for children and adults with disabilities.